Libya, situated in North Africa, has faced significant challenges in recent years, primarily due to prolonged civil conflicts and violence resulting in numerous casualties. Despite the ceasefire agreement marking the end of the most recent civil war 2 years ago, several governments, including the United States, United Kingdom, European Union, Canada, and Australia, continue to issue maximum-level travel advisories, warning their citizens against traveling to Libya due to ongoing violence and instability. However, this discussion will not focus on the conflict, but rather highlight one of Libya's remarkable achievements, an impressive engineering project that remains relatively unknown in the Western world. Libya is an arid country with an extremely limited water supply. Over 90% of its territory consists of harsh desert regions where rain might not fall for decades. Unlike many African countries, Libya lacks natural rivers, making it one of the driest and most challenging places to sustain a civilization. Regarding renewable water sources, Libya faces even greater scarcity than Cyprus, a small Mediterranean island nearly 200 times smaller in size. Consequently, Libyan cities and settlements are mostly confined to a narrow strip of land along the Mediterranean coast where rainfall is just sufficient to provide some water. These areas include the capital, Tripoli, in the northwest, and Benghazi in the northeast. As a result, more than 90% of Libya's population resides in this small fraction of its territory. Libya's population is relatively small, around 7 million people, considering its landmass is comparable to Mexico. Historically, the country's population remained low, with a little over 1 million inhabitants in the 1950s, shortly after gaining independence from Italy. However, everything changed in 1956 when Libya discovered vast oil reserves within its borders. These oil reserves, the largest in Africa and among the top 10 globally, brought immense wealth and economic growth to the country. Within 2 decades, Libya's population doubled by 1976, and then more than doubled again by 1996. The newfound prosperity also highlighted Libya's perennial water scarcity problem. To support its growing population, the country needed to find additional sources of water. The Libyans explored 3 main solutions, all with drawbacks. First, they considered desalination, a process of converting seawater into fresh water. This method, successful in Israel, was deemed expensive for Libya. Second, they thought about importing fresh water by tanker from Europe. Third, they considered constructing a pipeline to transport water from Europe. Both importing options would make Libya dependent on Europe for its water supply, which was not ideal for a newly independent nation that had suffered decades of colonial rule. A stroke of luck came when Libyan oil explorers, searching for more oil reserves in the southern desert, stumbled upon a significant discovery: an underground reservoir of fresh water. This water had been accumulating for thousands of years, dating back to a time when northern Africa was a lush, green region with abundant rainfall during the last ice age. Libya's newly discovered aquifers contained a massive amount of water, estimated to be around 35,000 cubic kilometers. To put this in perspective, it's more water than what's found in all the North American Great Lakes combined, in addition to Africa's Lake Malawi and Lake Victoria. However, there were challenges. First, this water was fossil water, meaning it couldn't be replenished, as the region had little rainfall to recharge the aquifers. Second, these aquifers were deep underground, located hundreds of miles away from the northern coastal cities where Libya's population resided. There was virtually no infrastructure connecting the aquifers to the cities. Initially, Libyans considered using the water for large-scale agriculture in the desert. However, a coup brought Colonel Muammar Gaddafi to power in 1969, and he introduced a visionary plan to overcome Libya's geographical constraints by building a massive network of man-made rivers through pipelines across the Sahara Desert. This ambitious project, known as the Great Man-Made River Project, aimed to transport water from the southern aquifers to the northern cities. It involved constructing over 4,000 kilometers of underground pipelines and more than 1,300 deep wells to access the underground water reserves. The system would provide essential freshwater resources to Libya's growing population in the north. The construction of the project began in 1984, and the first phase, completed in 1996, delivered water to cities such as Benghazi and Sirte. Phase 2, completed in 2000, supplied water to Tripoli and its surroundings. Phase 3 added more water to Benghazi and Sirte, completed in 2009. However, the project's final phases, which aimed to unify the entire network and connect all major cities, were never completed due to the political upheaval during the Arab Spring in 2011. Despite the challenges and incomplete phases, the Great Man-Made River Project remains one of the most ambitious irrigation projects in human history, fundamentally altering Libya's destiny by providing vital freshwater resources to its population. It exemplifies how human engineering and innovation can overcome even the most daunting geographical obstacles, like Libya's severe water scarcity. If you like this video, please subscribe this channel for more informative videos like this.